Let's start the recording first.
You're listening to the song first.
I feel like we should be doing something rather than just staring at the camera.
Why? Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm never ready.
I'm never ready either. We're trying something new.
We're trying something new, so... This will do nothing to stave off those people who say we play the theme song for way too long.
Right, yeah, no. That was a whole minute of theme song.
It was not a minute. It's a minute now. It's a minute now.
Strange looks. You know, like you had to look at us for a minute. I hope you enjoyed that.
Okay, hi. My name is Christopher Balzano.
Hi, I'm Natalie Crist. Welcome to Tripping on Legends, a little bit different.
We are trying something new here. Our videos have gotten a lot of play, so we figured what we're going to try to do is record tonight's episode, episode 47.
Is it?
Okay, I think so.
Okay.
Episode 47 on Hipcast via video, and then posted as both a video and an audio.
We have no idea what the video quality is going to be like because right now it looks really grainy. So if it's really grainy on your end, you need to tell us.
And, you know, in the future, if this works good, we might be able to use my secondary computer, which is my work computer. And that always has better quality than... So if you've watched our videos before and the quality is good, it's because it's on a different computer than Black Betty, which we're using right now.
Oh, but Black Betty's such a good one.
It is. But I haven't been at work for like 2 weeks.
Right. He's been through a roller coaster of events in the past 2 weeks. So we apologize for the delay of getting out episode 47.
So I don't know if you listened to episode 46.
Not all the way through, no.
Tripping on Legends with Kids.
I didn't. No, the audio was really bad.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
But I edited all that up in the hospital. Because I got bored.
In the hospital?
Yeah, so I recorded it. So I have no idea what it actually sounds like because I was so high on morphine. So I can only assume that it was really good. When he was
high on morphine, he was fucking higher than a kite. I mean, like, we had full conversations that he does not remember. He said some stuff that was, let me tell you.
I'm sure everything I said was completely appropriate, though. It was just that I have no idea.
Maybe not to the nurses so much.
No, I don't know if you can see my wound.
No,
you can't see my wound
on camera.
But I did tell one that she was the blood angel, and she could come and take my blood anytime she wanted.
I think she's going to refer to herself as the blood angel from now on, actually.
I know, that actually sounds a little bit creepy.
It does, actually.
So I have no idea while we're doing this. Should I be looking at you? Should I look at the camera? I'm assuming it would be better if I look at you.
It looks cute when you look at me, but then I'm looking at the camera, and it's kind of like a rom-com got bad. I don't know. Just look at the camera.
All right.
All right, so 47 is going to be our next trip, right? You're introducing what we're doing.
Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to introduce you to 3 potential stories.
Okay.
All of which revolve around the same topic.
Okay.
So we're going to call this episode 3 Witches.
Ooh.
3 Witches. Which, that sounds really hot when you think about it, but it's not. Nearly as well.
It's not like Charmed.
It's not. Well, it's not. It's not like Charmed. So what I want to do is, I figured we'd start to a little light on today's episode. Are you a fan of Hocus Pocus?
Yeah.
All right. Sell it to me in like a minute or less. Why I
Sarah
should like
Jessica Parker and Bette Midler. Hello.
Okay, I love Bette Midler, but sell it to me as a movie that I should watch because every time I watch like 5 minutes of that movie, I do not get it, and I'm like, nope. I know it's a cult classic. I know everyone loves it. Totally not into it.
It's the perfect combination of spooky, fun, humor, with a poignant message at the end of it all.
What's the poignant message at the end of it all?
Family means everything.
Are the witches family?
Well, yeah, they are family. They're sisters.
They're sisters.
They are, yeah. Oh. But more importantly,
are they good guys or are they bad
brother
guys?
And sisters.
Yeah, but are they good guys or bad guys?
They're very bad. They're soul suckers.
They're soul suckers.
Yeah.
So then
how have you never seen Hocus Pocus?
Why would we want? There's nothing about that movie that appeals to me. Like when I think Three Witches, I think The Craft.
Okay.
I think Charmed.
Nope. This is a more.
I think sometimes I had at Emerson College.
This is more so family-friendly witches.
Okay.
Okay.
You mean like in Casper when what's her name was the witch?
Sort of.
Who's the witch in the Casper movie?
Christina Ricci.
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like that. Her.
Better than Casper.
Okay. What people are really gonna be able to see in this is the looks that I give you when you say stuff. I don't know if the camera just caught that. But,
I hope so.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not anti it. It's just like it's not for me. Like I could go to start watching it, and I'm like, nope, not interested.
That's it. We're watching Hocus Pocus next weekend.
All right. So episode. Oh my word. Episode 48 is obviously going to be something having to do with
Hocus Pocus.
With Hocus Pocus.
You're going to love it.
I really am not going to like it.
A virgin lights a candle.
Well, what?
A virgin lights a candle.
Okay, maybe. I also watched a movie like that last night, but it has nothing to do with Bette Midler. Although it was The Wind Beneath My Wings.
Oh my word.
So what we're going to talk about tonight are 3 legends and 3 legendary hauntings in Florida that all revolve around witches.
Okay. All right.
And they're in 3 different parts of the state.
Okay.
And so it's not possible that we're necessarily going to be able to do all of them like in normal time.
Okay.
But 2 of them, the 2 that are further away, which we'll start with the 2 that are further away, might be good future legend trips if we have like a long weekend or we have something else that's going on.
Okay. Wait, I just thought of something.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I know we're on camera, so this kind of sucks, but we should be recording simultaneously.
What do you mean?
In another program, so we can get the audio off of this.
Okay.
So, hold please.
We can't hold. We're in the... No,
yeah, you can press stop.
No, it's going to record the audio automatically. And then you can download the audio and upload it.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
No? Okay. But just in case...
Just in case...
No, because it's going to take an hour to get this to...
What? What is your problem? Just do it.
Okay.
I know, I'm a little bossy, just in case. Oh, okay, you can't do it.
Yeah, we can.
You think so? Nope.
No.
No, I can't record in 2 different places at one time.
You think that's the problem?
Yeah, I do. I think that's the problem. Just stop. We don't have an external mic right now.
There we go.
Okay, fine.
Hello, is it me you're looking for? No. Okay.
All right, stop. It's all good.
Just stop.
Just stop. Just stop. I'm a little bit of a bossy bitch.
Anyway,
so okay, tell me about the 3.
All right, so the first one is one that you might have heard of before.
Okay, go.
And this is, do you know our state capital?
Tallahassee.
That's right. We are in the state of Florida, and Tallahassee is our state capital.
I've only lived here for about 30 years.
Tallahassee has what is known as the... Let's see. Now I can maximize this.
Okay.
There you go. It is the... The Tallahassee Witch Grave. Have you heard of this?
No, I haven't.
No, okay.
I didn't really think Florida had anything to do with the whole witch grave.
Well, we're going to get into that because that's kind of like part of the oddness of this is like all these stories involve people who were witches. 2 of them involve people who went through witch trials.
In Florida?
In Florida. And yet...
I've never heard of the witch trials of Florida.
Question mark? Like
right.
Witch trials, Florida? The lesser known? Who knows? So, what is it called again?
The Witch Grave.
The Witch Grave. Thank you.
Oh
my word! I literally have been researching this all day. So I heard about this when I was reading. I think like different sites here and there, but then definitely there's a whole like little section on it in Weird Florida.
Okay. So wait a minute. I gotta throw it out there.
Okay. Yes.
You found this from other sources because sometimes Weird Florida has not been our most credible source.
No, this. Okay, as a legend, this is definitely solid.
Okay.
Okay, so this is one of those things where you are able to do research because it's in Tallahassee, where FSU is. You're able to find there's FSU reports, and it's a thing with FSU students and things like that.
Okay. All right, tell me all about it. I'm ready.
So it is in the Tallahassee Old City Cemetery.
Okay.
There is a monument. It's an obelisk.
Obelisk?
Sure.
Obelisk? How do you pronounce that?
I always pronounce it obelisk. Obelisk.
Obelisk?
Obelisk.
Okay, obelisk. We're going to go with obelisk.
I can't even tell you the color of my new car, by the way.
Because it's Phantom.
It's Phantom. Anyway.
What was that? Phantom?
Who knows? Elizabeth Budd Graham.
Okay.
Who died in 1899, otherwise known as Bessie.
It's always an Elizabeth.
It is always an Elizabeth because half the people
were
married. They marry her Elizabeth.
Right.
So she died at the age of 23.
Oh.
And they built this monument to her in the cemetery.
When did they build this monument?
The monument was built when she died, so in 1899.
Okay.
She
was a witch?
2 children.
Hmm.
She had what can only be described as a loving and rich husband, because he built this monument at a time when it would have been more expensive to build it then than it would be now.
Okay.
And it would be rare for them to build something like that. Now, that fact I've come across a few times. I think that's a repeated fact when I'm like, actually, it's not that odd that there would be a monument built in 1899.
No, I thought that was something that was almost commonplace.
Right. It's not like we're talking 1599 or something like that. Like this is
even 1599. They built monuments. People
build monuments. What are you gonna do? But she was 23, so she died very young. And
23 in 1899, really not that young. You're an old spinster by then.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
The tales go that she betwixt her rich husband.
Okay.
Now, if you're a rich husband, a 23-year-old, it's what you're looking for anyway, so you don't even have to be a witch to get that done. But
nice.
No problem. Because she would have been 19 or something like that when they got married. Whatever it is, for some reason they think there's something nefarious in the building of this monument.
Okay.
Okay. And so she is supposed to have had a love spell or something like that on her husband to build this statue.
I see. So before she died, she knew she was going to die and cast this love spell.
Right, and that's why
you will honor me forever kind of thing.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. There's ivy, mason work in it, and crowns, and
is there a picture of this?
Yeah.
Okay. Should we show them?
I don't have it here where I can just go like this.
Oh, that's ill prepared.
Oh my word. Okay, will you talk? I might have it. Let's see.
He doesn't have it. I don't. Nope. Nope.
Shut up.
It's all right. Nope.
We didn't know we would be.
Google Tallahassee witch grave.
I didn't know we would be doing. I didn't know we would be doing visual things tonight. Or else I would have done my hair.
I sprang this on him.
She came home from a night out and looked all good and was like, "Let's video."
I don't even have freaking makeup on, bro.
Okay. Anyway, now here are some other things which lead people to believe that she might be a witch. You do look nice.
Thank you.
First of all, item 1: her grave faces west. All the other graves in the cemetery face east.
Ooh,
which is
weird.
kind of a traditional way for graves to face.
Wait a minute. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What? I think I knew that. I think you've told me about that before.
Yeah, to face the sun and stuff like that. The rising sun, things like that. It's a
What is
Christian
the lore
thing.
behind that? Is it a Christian thing, really?
Yeah, I think it is.
I've never heard about that before.
Yeah.
Like being Christian, I mean.
Well, it also has to do with the phases of the sun and stuff like that. And it's like, if you are a Christian, you would face the rising sun because of the rising Jesus.
So if you're a Jew, what do you face?
On next week's episode of Tripping on Legend, I had no idea you were going to ask me which way do Jewish graves face.
We've been doing this for 2 years now, and
that's the
don't
question.
anticipate
That's the question.
These
I do not anticipate.
Oh my word! All right, so anyway, so she's facing west. Are we sure it's not just her stone is facing west? Which way is her body pointed?
All the things say that she is facing west. Okay. That her marker is facing west.
Okay.
So the part with her name and all that stuff like that is facing the opposite way of people that are there. It is. The next!
But wait a minute.
Bit of evidence.
The fact that she was even able to be buried in a cemetery, it's probably more than likely a Christian or a Catholic cemetery.
Not if she bewitched them.
She betwixt them.
Bewitched and betwixt.
Okay, all right, keep going.
Okay. The next bit of evidence, the condemning piece of evidence. She was born in October.
Oh, shit. There you go. Condemned. Done.
Condemned.
Guilty. Which
I'm not really sure. I mean, I could have pulled this up if I hadn't thought about it until just now, but like when even October became like the month. You know what I'm saying? Because Halloween...
Oh, that's like hundreds of years, right?
Right, but in terms of like being something that was like recognized by everyone as being something, I'm not sure if Halloween and October as this like month.
I get
a feeling like...
Do you want to pull it up really quickly? Keep
talking?
You
can pull it up when I talk about the next part because I have to do a little reading.
Okay, all right. So do a little reading,
but I mean, even if obviously the traditions of Halloween go back centuries, right? But that doesn't mean necessarily people would have taken it as lore that the month of October was somehow... What are you doing?
Moving it closer.
Okay. That was creepy. That somehow that has to do with like the month itself being haunted.
Okay.
At least not to the point that someone in 1899 would have been like, she was born in October, she must be evil.
So then all people
doesn't
born
seem
in
like
October,
it. Then all people in
exactly,
October would be born evil.
But does Haunted Florida embrace that as part of the lore because she was born in October?
Mm-hmm. Yes. They do.
Interesting.
That's the reason why I had it back here, was so we can get a wider view.
Okay, fine. I was
so we can both get in there.
Get not so grainy, but whatever.
Okay. Now, the last bit of evidence, and I think this has more to do with ignorance than it has to do necessarily with, like, people having bad English teachers, maybe, than it has to do with actual condemning. But there is a part of a poem by Edgar Allan Poe that is also the first stanza of a poem, which is also etched.
This is a lot of alsos.
What? Also etched into her grave.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I will read that poem. It's called Lenore.
Okay, you go ahead and read that. I'm going to do some.
Lenore is supposed to be the same Lenore that is dead in The Raven.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Okay. So while you're not in the camera, I'm going to go here and make sure that while I'm reading, it's there. Okay. So it's the first stanza that's in there. So here is what is written on her, or etched into her monument.
Okay.
Broken is the golden bowl, the spirit flown forever. Let the bell toll, a saintly soul float on the Stygian river. And, guide to fear, hast thou no tear? Weep now or nevermore. See, on yon drear and rigid briar, low lieth thy love, Lenore. Come, let the burial rite be read, the funeral song be sung, an anthem for the queeness dead, that ever died so young, a dirge for her, the doubly dead, in that she died so young. So, some pretty deep stuff.
But what does that tell you about her witchliness?
It doesn't. It doesn't tell me anything about her witchliness. Now, here's what people said. So, the Stygian River is the river Styx, right? And so, why would a Christian mention the river Styx? Although there are similar mythologies in Catholicism as well that kind of cross over to that. Not to mention the fact Greek Orthodox kind of mentions both of them as well. And there's also a reference later on in the poem to pagans. However, I think this is people just kind of taking something creepy and freaky because it's Edgar Allan Poe and assigning it something that it really isn't. Right? Because it's a poem...
In 1899 they would have done
No, I think like in more recent times.
Okay.
Right? Because Edgar Allan Poe, in this poem at least, so like I said, this is Lenore. So this is the Lenore of Raven fame.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. And this poem is kind of weird in that it... there's a guy named Guy.
Okay.
Who is responding to at least one different person. Right? So one different person is basically saying, like, she's dead, she's on the river, why aren't you crying? Like, she's dead, right? And he kind of flips out. Let me tell you what he wrote. Wretches, you loved her for her wealth and hated her for her pride. And when she fell in feeble health, ye blessed her, that she died? How shall the ritual then be read, the requiem be sung? By you, by yours, the evil eye, by yours, the slanderous tongue, that did the death of innocence that died and died so young? So in both of the stanzas, tell me if I'm getting boring, like I'm getting too literary, but
this is a little literary. I'm not following.
In both of the stanzas, well, because it's where the confusion comes in.
Okay.
That whole stanza that's set up there is supposed to be like overly poetic and overly symbolic and overly like ornate, which is why it sounds old-fashioned, even more old-fashioned than 1899.
Okay.
Which is why it kind of has this lofty like symbolism of like the river Styx and stuff like that. So the poem itself makes no references to witchcraft. And in the poem, this person, Guy, who is the one who loves Lenore, right? Okay. So we can imagine him as the person who is, seeking respite while he's like, when the raven comes in, is like, I can't philosophize it, right? I just love her. Like, you didn't even like her in life, like, and now all of a sudden she's dead, and you're making her you're making her poetry. So the poem has nothing to do with.
Okay, so how do you tie this in then? Why did they put this on her headstone?
Well, because I think that it has to do with, like, if you didn't really know what you were doing, and it sounds very fancy, and like a husband who loves his wife, or is like calling to the things, might put that on there, not getting that it's supposed to be a joke.
In the late 19th century, was Edgar Allan Poe known for love poems, or still?
Well, I mean, like
morbid,
like Annabelle.
tone?
No, Annabelle Lee's like probably one of the greatest love poems of all time. You can tell what my ideas about love are. I think that's the greatest love poem of all time. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that if you didn't, it's not that it's a joke, but it's kind of like showing you this, like, that's not real love. Real love is what I'm feeling right now, not this lofty stuff.
I see.
That lofty stuff would sound, it would be like taking something by like a Shakespearean.
Wait, hang on. So is it your opinion that the husband didn't really love?
I get that the husband really didn't get what the poem was about.
But wait a minute. Maybe he felt he needed to make
I think
some
he needed
grand
to take
gesture
I didn't take it for my freshman English class. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that's looking into it too much. I think he just I think he loved her and he wanted to give her this symbol of love, and he didn't get that it was kind of like that's not what the poem was about.
Was Edgar Allan Poe a very influential poet in Florida during 1899? I mean, you have to kind of look at all those things, though. You have to look at the outside influences.
I think he would have been dead by then. I think he would have been known. I think he would have been considered a popular poet.
Don't you think that there's other poetry that's out there that maybe would have been more popular at that point in time for love poetry? Love-based poetry?
So you think there is something dark behind the poem, is what you're saying?
I do. I think there's something dark behind the poem.
But there's nothing about the poem that's overtly witchy. I mean, it's not even like dark spirits are being called upon or anything like that.
But maybe he didn't want that to draw attention. She had just been killed for being a witch. Right? No, she was not. This is the one that wasn't killed. This is the one that got the witchy reputation afterwards. I see.
As a matter of fact, there's nothing in those 23 years of quality life that points to her doing anything witchy or being considered a witch by the community or anything like that. So it's really one of those things where it's only afterwards when people look at this poem in here, maybe not understanding the context of it, that they've assigned it to it. Because now it's like,
I see. So the husband's grand gesture has turned her into a witch, is what you're telling me.
Yes. By the looks of the people.
I
However, and it's not sure whether it's because of this or because of it being a cemetery, but there are ghosts that are supposed to be there. So people do see glowing balls of light. I love our glowing balls of light. They do hear voices.
Hello, haunted love.
Haunted love. One of the things that, now this I thought is really interesting, this is what kind of drew me to this story to include it, was that people say that once a year, and did they say it was on Valentine's Day? That, because it was some random FSU student. That the story goes, people every year they see someone deliver a rose to her grave, to this monument.
Really?
Now, I wasn't able to confirm that, right? However,
that's really cool.
I thought there were two stories getting mixed up. Okay. Because there's an infamous story of every year on his birthday, a mysterious figure.
On Edgar Allan Poe's birthday.
On
Edgar Allan Poe's birthday.
Edgar Allan Poe's birthday, there's a mysterious figure that appears and delivers him alcohol and wine.
Yeah.
I mean, alcohol and roses.
And a rose. Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I thought maybe that was like a little bit of a cross-wiring thing right there, like putting one legend
kind of sounds like it
on another legend.
Have you gotten it from multiple different places or just one place?
Two places talked about the rose story. So
maybe she was the mistress of Edgar Allan Poe and she died.
She was 23 years old. No, he would have been dead long before that.
Long before?
Mm-hmm.
Like how long before?
Long before, for it to be really creepy for us to carry on this conversation. But also, now there's also a woman in white that's seen in the cemetery.
Of course.
And half the people...
So the cemetery kind of has a little hodgepodge
of things going on, right?
Of everything.
And because this is the most, which we've talked about before, because this is the most unusual marker that's in there, this is the one that people attribute to everything they see.
I see.
So it's either like she's the witch and she's kind of brought this other stuff in with her, or what you're seeing is her, or... and this is kind of interesting because there's a woman in white, right?
Course, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And because the woman wears white, people say, no, Bessie is a good witch. She's a good witch.
Awesome, that's really
cool. And that's why you
fun.
can't find anything bad about her in the records, because in life she was...
a good witch.
She was a good witch.
Now, when did this come out? Because I thought the that's the word I'm looking for, the label, witch, always carried a negative connotation until the 20th century.
I would say 21st century. I would say until recently. So it's really hard to say what that is.
Okay.
So,
all right.
But the weird thing is that there are rumors out of FSU that is actually Catherine Willie Gray instead. And Catherine Willie, every time Natalie faces away from the camera, she's yawning.
I'm sorry.
It's 11:30. It's 11:38, so it's very close to her bedtime.
Wait a minute. So you're saying that somebody else is buried where Elizabeth's grave is?
Buried nearby.
Oh, buried nearby.
Buried nearby.
Okay. All right, gotcha.
And this is Catherine Willie Gray, and she is... Follow this now.
I am. Catherine Willie Gray.
She is the wife of the nephew of Napoleon.
The wife of Napoleon's nephew.
The wife of Napoleon's nephew.
Okay, so Napoleon's
niece-in-law? So, I guess the story is that the after Napoleon was defeated and stuff, the nephew came here to Florida. Loved the Tallahassee area.
Of course.
Who would have thunk, you know what I'm saying? And spent the rest of his life pretty much never leaving southern Florida, or northern Florida. Yeah, it is. It's right there.
Right there.
So, and that they are buried, and they have unique markers in the cemetery
That's pretty
nearby.
Cool. I would like to go see that just because it's like tied to Napoleon. That's pretty cool.
So you like things that are tied to Napoleon? Okay. This is something I did not know about you.
I just think that it's neat. Any historical figure that's out there.
Okay.
I just think that's neat.
But Bessie is not historical enough for you.
No, not Bessie. I'm sure she's a lovely young lady.
She was a young love.
Was.
She's dead now.
So they think, but why do they think it was why? Because it was Napoleon?
Once again, it's a case of like the most famous person associated with an area is got to be the ghost.
Okay.
And also, I guess she was known for wearing white when they would go out and stuff like that.
Is it confirmed that... Sorry. Is it confirmed that
they were this is something that you guys don't actually see or hear when we do the audio version of this.
Up! Oh my god, I'm going to punch you in the face. Alright, is it confirmed that they were actually relatives of Napoleon?
Yes.
It is.
That is all right. Like if you go and you research...
Okay.
And you research them, you find all about like their influence on Tallahassee and stuff like that.
Okay. All right.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good. Keep going.
Okay, so rank your interest level between 1 and 5 broomsticks.
Ooh.
1 and 5 broomsticks.
3.
Okay, this is a 3 broomstick interest.
It's a 3 broomstick. Because it's pretty far to drive for just a, cemetery.
Okay, I'm with you. Except for if we were up in Tallahassee, or is that Gainesville that has the Devil Millhopper?
That's Gainesville, I'm pretty sure.
Is that the same place? That's the way to make a lot of enemies in this area. It was to say FSU and Florida
have the same football teams.
The same football teams. Mm-hmm. All right, the next. We travel across the state, just north of Jacksonville.
That's like way more than across the state. That's like across the state. Wait a minute, up 8 hours.
Wait, Tallahassee? I'm from Tallahassee? Isn't Tallahassee up there near Jacksonville, but like on the other side of the state?
Yeah, I thought you were saying like
from not here. From not from here. Like from there.
All right, from there.
Two, I've seen it spelled Fernando Beach and Ferdinand Beach.
I think there's two different places.
Ferdinand Beach.
Fernanda
Beach.
Okay, I've heard of it though.
You've heard about that place.
Yes,
that place. All right, we travel to the Wiccademous.
The what?
The Wiccademous Woods.
Nope.
Also known as the Witch's Woods.
Nope.
What?
I'm not a woods girl.
Okay, well, we wouldn't go there at night. We've talked about this before.
Nope. Is there a trail?
Yes.
To the state park?
Kind of.
What does that mean, kind of?
Well, can I get on with the story? And then you can... Okay, so...
I mean, the Wiccademous Woods, that sounds
Wiccademous
a little...
Woods. Also known as the...
weird.
Also known as the Witch's Woods, which is much more friendly.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not like Wiccademon. Like, actually, this is like something from Massachusetts. Like, oh my god, that's Wiccademous! Guy! On September...
He is so from Boston.
On September 12th.
Ooh, we just passed it.
We just passed it, but it probably wouldn't be good to do it on the day of. On September 12th, 1600, and no one knows. A young lady was put to death, hung by an oak tree for being a witch.
Again with the oak.
Again with the oak. Okay?
Okay.
With me?
Ready.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Some say she was but a child. Others say she was young and had an eventful childhood and had a young one herself. Like she had a young baby.
Okay.
So there's different stories how to do that. The look I'm giving you right now is this has come from like several different sources. So this is one of those ones that's known. Now I had heard this one.
Honey, wait a second. Wait, back up for 2 seconds.
Back up.
Okay, spell the name of the woods for me.
Wicca. Wicca.
Witch.
Wicca. Good. DEM.
Demon.
EOUS. Wiccademous. So it could be a play on Nicodemus.
Or
from the Bible.
wicked and demons live here.
Wiccademons. But those two things don't go with each other. Anyway.
I don't know anything about Wicca, so...
Her name is never given. So unlike Betsy,
and this is in sometime in the 17th century?
Sometime in the 17th century.
Some woman.
Now, the weird thing is the September 12th is very solid. It's in all the reports. It's passed down. September 12th, but not the year.
She was...
So I don't know... Hung, yes. Hanged.
Okay, hanged.
Yes. For being a witch. So she was accused of being a witch. She was put on trial. She was found guilty and executed. I don't know if I've got 5 fingers.
And she might have a kid.
And she may have had a kid or have been pregnant. So,
and I guess, okay, so what's the actual lore behind it?
Okay, so it's across from a high school. And, like, there's a high school and then there's woods that lead into it. And I guess there is, like, a nature...
High school kids would totally mess with us.
Yeah, but that's kind of the fun part. Because then they would actually talk about what the stories are that are going around.
I don't want to talk to high school kids.
I don't want to talk to high school kids either, but what are you going to do? That's how I make my living. It's disputed whether or not like teachers even discuss it, like whether it's like a known thing in the school and it's like a social thing.
Do you think you'd have more pull because you're a teacher? Like, could we go into that school like, yo?
I don't think it's not like the military where you can go to like different bases and you still get saluted for your rank. I think it's more
why not? Like, it should be. You should totally.
I think it's more of like, why are you on my turf?
No. I
can just go in there and go, don't you hate Common Core? Isn't it Wiccademous? And see what happens.
Seriously, I think that you could be able to hook up the teacher connection. Like, yo, I'm a high school teacher too, so I know the struggle.
Hey, listen, can I talk to you about this? Okay,
exactly.
Maybe,
yeah.
The struggle. So supposedly that this area there's a marker for where her grave is. So she was buried like at the point where she was killed.
Okay.
Which is also, I mean, all of this seems very weird to me in terms of like the story seems kind of sketchy.
It does.
Now, the school owns the property. The school has some of the property of those woods marked off. That it's not part of it.
We can get in some trouble here.
So, well, I mean, once again, I think it's something, especially given the nature of where it is, we wouldn't go at night. You know?
Right.
Like, so we might go during the day, but that's maybe I'll wear my badge, my Lee County Schools badge, while we're out there, and what are they going to do?
We can see we're on a field trip.
So, exactly. So here's what happens at Wiccademous.
Okay, I'm listening. Go. Wiccademous.
Yes.
You heard that all right?
This witch's goal is to... Oh, that was crazy because that went down with it, too.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, it did.
Oh.
This witch's goal is to... So
this young woman.
This is one of those bad luck follows you.
She was
afterwards.
hanged. Wait, she was hanged because she takes people's souls?
No, she was hanged for being a witch, and now she's stuck on the area. She's stuck on this piece of land, and her goal is to like
suck the souls of the living.
Right, and make bad things happen for you.
Well, if she sucks your soul, how is she going to make bad things happen? Can you live without a soul?
You can.
Really?
I just had like 7 different jokes pop into my head, none of which would have been appropriate.
Go ahead.
It's called Being Married. How about that? Boom! Boom! Oh.
That was so mean.
Okay.
That was so bad. That was so horrible.
I was also going to go for some political humor too, but I decided, given our earlier discussion tonight, it was probably not appropriate.
Go ahead.
Nope. Moving on. So, there we go.
Okay.
So as you start to approach the marker, right?
Right.
The ground will start to shake.
Okay.
And most people run at that point, kind of thing, like no. But if you can actually make it to the marker and find the marker and touch the marker, you'll have horrible things. You might not make it out. They say that you might just be killed right there on sight, or you might just have bad luck follow you when you leave.
For how long? Is this like Devil's Tree kind of thing? Like
until
bad
you
luck
walk around, until you go around 3 times and spit and...
Does it say or no?
It doesn't say.
It doesn't say.
It doesn't say.
I said, how many confirmed cases of going into the woods have we got?
There's a lot of battling over this.
Really? There's battling?
There's battling over this.
Ooh, fun.
Because some people say, like, absolutely not. This is a real thing. Like, we used to legend trip this when I was a kid. And da-da-da. And then other people...
legend trip?
Yes.
Besides us?
Yeah. Like the Oviedo Lights. Remember we talked about that whole thing of, like...
Oh, well, yeah, but that was in the 50s.
Yeah. Well, people still do. People still, like... That's the whole point of why we're doing what we're doing. Is because people still do that. That scary place in your neighborhood or your town
fine,
you go to. Just because you didn't do it. Just because like your Bonita crew didn't have like
Bonita, okay. like whatever.
That's Wiccademous. Okay, I'm sorry. Your Naples crew didn't have. And then the other half were like, "This is absolutely ridiculous. These reports are all fake. Like the people who were interviewed for this are just making it up, or it's just the person writing it. Like very violently, like protecting or." Like tearing this legend down.
So potentially, if we go here, we could be driven out of town for trying to follow up.
Well, I don't think so because, like, the whole reason why we're following up on these legends is to follow up on legends and see whether they're true or not.
So we're not see whether or not they're true, but more so present the story.
We'll present the story, right?
Okay. I get this a 5 broomstick.
What'd you say?
5 broomsticks.
I haven't gone to that part yet. I have a lot to talk about with this one.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Do you want to just fast forward to the rating?
No, I'm interested.
I'm not doing broomsticks.
The ground shakes. This is a really cool one.
So now here's something that's very interesting to me. Because people said, and there were several different people online that said this in different sites, oh, that's just because of the pipes that are under the ground.
The ground shakes
and the ground was shaking because of the pipes.
So really poor construction in that area?
People will confirm that the ground does shake in this area of the woods. Now, here's the interesting thing. That, to me, that sounds just like the whole pipes, in your walls are what causes ghosts. Like, it's not a ghost, it's a pipe.
Right.
Like, it's really one of those things where it makes logical sense until you actually bring it to logic. And be like, well, wait a minute. Okay, wait. I know pipes under the ground. Why are the pipes shaking under the ground? Why are they shaking, the pipes under the ground shaking so hard that they make people feel as if, like, that they make people feel as if, like, that sounds less plausible than a witch ghost who steals your soul for touching her marker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that seems like one of those things where it holds up until you actually think about it.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
We have to do this one, but we have to do it during the day. For sure. How deep into the woods is this?
It doesn't seem like it's very deep into the woods.
Is there, and what does the marker look like? Is there a picture of the marker?
Nope, there's discrepancy in what the marker is. Some people said it's a grave, some people said it's a marker, some people say it's now torn up, and you have to follow the path to it.
Oh no, so we can go on a wild goose chase here.
Yes, and you'll know that
How big are the Wiccademous woods?
The wicked usually, they're not that big. They're not that big. And we have precise GPS location on it, too. So.
Oh, we do?
Uh-huh.
Oh, somebody's Google marked it before?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Thank you.
So, that's definitely one. And while we're there, you know what I'm saying, like Jacksonville, like, who knows?
It's right next to St. Augustine,
St. Augustine, so I don't know if I would waste a St. Augustine trip on this random part of it, but if we had like 3 days to spend in St. Augustine, or even a re-trip to Ormond Beach and Daytona, it might be a good shoot up to that and go see it. So
yeah. Ooh, I like this one. Good. This is a good one.
Now, 1 to 5 cauldrons. Now, just so you know,
5 cauldrons with an addition of Eye of Newt.
Who's Newt?
Mother of God.
They come at nighttime mostly.
A virgin lights a candle.
Mostly.
A virgin lights a candle.
Newt was a virgin. You have no idea what I'm talking. She's laughing, but she has no idea what I'm talking about.
It's funny even though because I don't
She was a virgin, mostly. Those people who get that will find that hilarious.
And what does that mean? You can't mostly be a virgin.
Mostly. It's the fact is the mostly. It's not mostly a virgin.
What?
We're moving on.
All right, move on.
We're moving on to something much closer.
Okay, I like close.
And this is it Bakersville?
Bakersville. I think.
Florida.
Okay.
And this is the last one. And then I want to talk a little bit just about like witches in general. If that's cool with you, like why witch legends are on and stuff like that. This is the Swamp Witch.
I'm not going to any fucking swamp. I'm not going into swamp.
The Swamp Witch.
Nope. Done. There's gators and snakes.
The Swamp Witch of Hog Island.
Thank you.
The Swamp Witch of Hog Island.
Nope.
Now, for all intents and purposes, this is an absolutely beautiful hiking spot. So if you type in Hog Island, right, and Hog Island.
Swamp.
Well, I mean, what do you call it? Was
swamp.
Mayaka was a swamp.
And it was
you know what
gross.
I'm saying? Like,
it was disgusting.
But there were parts of it that were absolutely beautiful. Like,
yeah, okay,
yes,
it was pretty.
Very specifically where we were going, it was swampy and muddy. But it
was very open, so that was good. But there were gators, too. Like, any moment a gator could have come up and done. I would have been like their breakfast.
I've seen plenty of gators in Mayaka.
Yeah,
they're beautiful.
I know. They're gorgeous, but you just don't want to... Mostly. I just don't know what that means, British. But no. What the fuck? You said it British.
I didn't say it like British at all. I said
you did too.
Moving on.
Okay, fine. The swamp. Go ahead.
The swamp. So this is one of those stories which is really, really cool. Okay?
Okay.
And it has been known to have shadows that walk the island.
For why?
That walk the swamp.
For why? What are the shadows? Who are the shadows?
No one knows. I'll tell you what the going story is. Wait.
Is there any Native American lore to this place?
There's not that I have found yet.
I will find it.
But we will find it. But what this is, I mean, really, this is a settlement that failed.
Ooh, when?
So it was like they settled it, and then and then it was. Okay, Croon was once a small town that grew up around a railroad junction, so our railroad again, in the late 1800s.
Okay.
The settlement was short-lived as its population suffered heavily from the influenza epidemic of the 1910s. This is where the story of the hauntings come from. Like most of these spirits are the people of the
victims of the influenza. Okay.
Crone sat on an empty ghost town for decades and was gradually reclaimed by the forest. Today, there are only scant remnants of the town, a few artifacts here and there, the remains of the old railroad bridge.
Ooh.
An abandoned cemetery, and a lot of stories of strange happenings in the woods at night.
This just sounds sad.
And Hog Island is supposedly the most active area. Campers have reported seeing unexplained lights in the forest, hearing disembodied voices, seeing figures walk in the night.
This one makes my heart sad.
But I think so. Here's the thing, and I feel for that. Except for, do you know this history?
No, I have no idea.
Exactly, and so maybe through going through this and seeing this story and speaking this legend, we can make these people who suffered live again.
Good idea.
Do you get what I'm saying there?
So
this story of
what is wrong with me that the two women with children didn't faze me at all? Because they're witches, and this is just...
No, this has a witch history, too.
No, but I'm saying, like, okay, settlement died here, but the two individual women, it was... Whatever. What's wrong with me?
Settlements have more people.
Yeah, I guess.
But also, it's like a legend, so there's a detachment from it, right?
Yeah.
So you had no problem with the mom with the dying children until you met the mom with the dying children. You know what I'm saying? Like, even going into it, you were kind of hesitant and like, no.
Kinda. Anything with kids is always
okay
for me.
I don't know. So, but it seems like this is a piece of the history,
and we can go.
And this is like maybe 45 miles outside of Tampa.
Is this a state
north
park?
of Tampa? This is a trail, at least. Yes, like a trail area.
Okay.
Like a known hike and like a set off and everything like that.
Okay.
So it's not as if we're just walking randomly into the woods.
Okay, so tell me about the witch lore here.
Well, here's the weird thing, is that people have now associated this as a witch's hunting ground, right?
Why?
And so the hauntings, which have existed for a while, have now been said to be the source of it was a woman was put on trial. Once again, she was hung. She was left out there.
Did you find anything about this?
No, but here's what I found. This story in this form didn't exist until maybe 30, 40 years ago. Probably less. Now, this is kind of cool if you're a folklorist. This kind of name game stuff is interesting.
What do you mean name game?
I'm glad you asked, Natalie.
I'm so glad you all could see his looks.
Hog Island is also the name of a place in Massachusetts which has a reputation for witchcraft. And so people feel that maybe the witch story here really has more to do, because there were no witch trials in Florida that I could find. I spent hours trying to find any remnants of witch trials or people being put on.
Which actually is surprising, because the place was colonized during the witch trials, so why weren't there witch trials?
Because they weren't colonized by the same type of people. Witch trials were a very Puritan kind of idea.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so the French that were here, the French Huguenots and stuff like that we've been studying, and the Spanish would not necessarily have the same set of beliefs that would. Although the Spanish Inquisition was pretty bad too, I hear. I hear tell. But it's just it's
any rumor of witch or Wicca or witchcraft would have resulted in.
Well, I think part of it also has to do.
Panic.
I think part of it also has to do with the strength of women, right? So all these legends boil down to.
Are you going for some brownie points here, or what?
All witch legends and witch crazes all boil down to like being intimidated by a woman, right? Or an outsider at least.
Yeah, I've been part of a witch trial before.
And so, have you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Insert story about your witch trial.
Metaphorically.
Oh, okay. I thought you were actually put on trial for something. You understand? And so it's that outsider, it's that fringe element, that kind of like threatening thing to the settlement.
Has there ever been anything to replace the witch part of the witch trial? So when I say that I've metaphorically been on trial for being a witch,
no, I get what you're saying, and I think like it's been replaced by race.
Okay.
It's been replaced by anti-Semitism.
Okay.
It's been It's been replaced by communism.
Okay, wait a minute.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Wait a minute. So you can always separate a group of people and say that they've been targeted in one way or another.
Right.
I'm saying specifically women. Okay, let's just say women specifically.
Okay.
In the history of America, primarily.
No, I don't think it's fair to say primarily at all. Like the witch trials what we did to our witches here is nothing compared to what they did to them in Europe.
Wait, I'm just asking about America though, right this moment. Has there been anything? America. I'm just asking equivalency wise. Has there been anything like the witch trials for women?
Oh, for women?
Find? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Targeting women specifically. I
don't get your question.
Has there been anything like that for women, targeting women specifically as a group of people? Because we all know they weren't really witches during the witch trial. Right. At least not all of them. They were targeting the women, like you said, because they were independent women, maybe, because they were strong-willed.
I mean, I think that you can think that, in terms of women, I mean, you can say maybe stuff like any woman who is confident is automatically a bitch, as opposed to, I don't think it's anything institutionalized or legal like a witch trial, but the idea that any woman who's strong is automatically considered a bitch, as opposed to just a strong woman the way that a man would be considered a strong man.
Okay.
I think that you can attack them in terms of the abortion issues and things like that. It could be financially in terms of equal pay and paid family leave. I don't think it's institutionalized anymore. I think we've moved on from, and it's also, we associate witch trials with women, but it wasn't just women. You know what I'm saying? It was also, let's not forget that it was a black woman, or an island woman at least, who kind of was the spark of it. The Salem witch trials, at least. Right, but it was also her Africanness that was what was so foreign and intimidating.
Oh, really?
And there was a lot of it had to do with land, it had to do with power, it had to do with things like that as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Native Americans were often targeted in witch trials as well, in terms of as the spark of them.
But there really hasn't been anything like that since, or before that was anything like a mass murdering of women.
Yeah, but the witch trials went on for centuries in Europe before they started here.
Centuries?
Yeah.
Really? That's not something I knew.
Next time we're at my house, I'll pull out the book. I've got 7 books just on the European ones.
Wait, I've read the Malformus one. I've read part of it.
Well, that's different. That's Witch Hunter, which points at the fact that there were people whose job it was to be witch hunters. And it was very elaborate, what was a witch, what wasn't a witch, how to hunt a witch, how to identify a witch. So this was an issue that they felt that they were having. It's always been a metaphor for the outsider.
That's kind of what I'm boiling down to here.
So I don't think
it's not really the witch part of it, or the witchcraft.
I think it's what intimidates. What intimidates the power structure. Now, the power structure is traditionally men. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's traditionally older men.
White older men.
You know what I'm saying? In America, you could say white older men as well. And so it's an outsider to that is going to pose that threat and be attacked.
Interesting.
So.
Okay. Keep going.
Follow me, but that's why.
It was just an offset question.
No, and I think that's why. I think that's why these legends exist, because we continue to put that stigma on the outsider. So notice how none of these are. That's the witch's house. They're all places that are set off. A cemetery, 2 areas of woods. Oh, don't go there. That's a wood. That's where a woman.
Except for witchy woman. The mini lights had the witch's house in it. Yeah. Remember?
Right, but that was set off. Remember, there was the whole long stretch of thing you had to cross to get to her house and everything like that. And keep in mind, she was doing what? She was impeding on progress in the area.
Right.
And she was the last house that was standing and stuff like that. So and the fact that it's destroyed almost now makes it in the woods, because people are searching for it the way you would search for it in the woods.
Yeah.
Now back to Hog Island.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I was enjoying that.
Oh, okay. Back to Hog Island. There's a Hog Island in Massachusetts.
Okay, got it.
Right? Following me?
Yeah, Massachusetts has everything. I understand.
Massachusetts. The Commonwealth. And the thing is, though, is that Hog Island itself, which is also known as Choate Island.
Choate?
Choate. Choate.
Wouldn't it be Choate?
Island has a reputation itself.
Okay.
But the reputation has nothing to do with actual witches.
What is it?
I'm glad you asked. In the, what would it be, late 80s, early 90s?
I don't know. Your thing, man.
Okay. We've kind of frozen here, though.
Oh, no.
There we go. We're back.
Yay! Okay.
There was a movie that was filmed on that island. It was The Crucible. Ooh, with Daniel Day-Lewis in the main role and stuff like that. And The Crucible, if you're unfamiliar, I feel like this is more of an English lesson than it is a.
I feel like you have totally pulled out the teacher. It's because he's been off for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. I miss my school. The Crucible is a story which is not really about the witch trials, but takes place during the witch trials.
Okay.
And has more to do with its connection to McCarthyism and things like that.
What is McCarthyism?
McCarthyism was the attack or the isolation or the rooting out of communists in this country. And so it was one of those things where... I've never
heard of it called McCarthyism before.
Okay. Senator McCarthy is kind of the person who was having these trials and stuff like that. And a lot of artists...
And wait, when was this during? What time?
1950s.
1950s. Okay.
And so Arthur Miller, the guy who wrote The Crucible...
To Marilyn.
was blacklisted. He was one of the people who was originally blacklisted. So he wrote this as a not so subtle attack on the establishment that this routing out of or rooting out of communism was pretty much just the same as the witch hunts.
Interesting.
And having the same kind of impact. You know what I'm saying? And like, and so.
Oh, I see. So you want to tag this towards like immigration as well, then. I can see where you can go with that.
You get them to like that idea of, and I think maybe the reason why
any group of people that has one thing in common that you can pick on, that you can objectify, that you can take and mold into a
right. And if you were
contention,
and if you were looking at, let's say for example, you didn't know you were a completely ignorant person, for example.
I am,
and you're not. And you were looking at coming from a Christian background, and you were looking at like the Muslim prayer that they do 5 times a day, and how ritualistic it seems, especially if you're not a Catholic, how ritualistic that seems. That might seem really weird and like almost pagan and like evil and satanic to you if you were seeing it for the first time.
Right.
The motions that they're doing and stuff like that.
Because it's strange and new.
Because that's a great way to put it, like strange and new and kind of... and so I think that's the outsider aspect of things that sometimes deals with immigration and stuff like that as well. So it does range in all those things. But the interesting thing here is that it looks like the Crucible being filmed on the island gave the island a reputation for witchcraft, which then get transferred to the Hog Island down here.
Oh, how funny.
And so even though, once again, like something we've come across a lot, even though there might actually be activity there and things that are going on, and now we're discovering an entire ghost town for us to explore... Fact of the matter is the witch story got attached to it fairly recently because of this movie being shot on another place that's not even this stretch of land.
How funny.
But that has the same name.
But so you found reports of it specifically being in Florida? Like,
yes.
Not just like Hog Island, but specifically Hog Island in
Florida. Hog Island in Florida, yes.
Interesting, interesting. Okay. All right, in books or just online posts?
Online posts. I haven't found it in books.
Okay. So. I wonder if we can find it in any books. Like,
well, I was going to talk about Florida. Mark Muncy and see if Mark... It's on Weird Florida.
Okay.
But I was thinking maybe Mark Muncy had heard about it.
Which one's Mark Muncy again?
He did, what is it? Not Weird Florida, but... Story Bizarre Florida. He has the new book.
The one that... Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The one that's just been released. Check it under his name rather than the name of the book. Because we're totally...
It's midnight. And we're late. It's been a little... We've spent 7 hours? 8 hours? At car dealerships today.
He had a Phantom Black car.
Phantom.
So... Okay. It looks like, we might not be able to get to this for a few weeks.
Yeah, probably not. We've got some events coming up.
Looks like we've got events every weekend in October.
Yay!
Except for
one.
Fun. And we've got kids in October every week.
Right? No kidding.
So maybe, dude, you should totally ditch your kids for Thanksgiving.
What a novel idea.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Canadian Thanksgiving. Did you know that?
Oh, Canada.
Yay, they can see you singing.
moving on. So it might be a while before we get to this, so we can do a little research, especially on the ghost town part of it.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean,
the ghost town part is a little freaky because it feels like it's very isolated, and I don't love to be in an isolated location.
Well, it seems like it's more of like now the town has developed around it, and what's left of the ghost town is in this one area of it. But we'll do more research. Before we get you out there.
Okay.
All right. So that's kind of like our witch show. So wait a minute.
Yeah, you want to do some witch talking?
Wait a minute. Well, I think we did that. I think we did it.
Oh, okay.
We did all that stuff. Yeah, yeah. But I want to be okay. 1 to 5 magic wands.
That's just stupid. No. Try again.
1 to 5 black cats.
I was thinking the same thing. That's awesome.
1 to 5 black cats.
4 black cats.
4 black cats on that one. I was going to go 3 black cats on that one, so I'm glad you kicked it up a little bit. I think the ghost town part sold you.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really seen a ghost town in person.
We were going to do that in DeLand, and we ended up kind of scrapping that idea. So this is maybe interesting, and it's not too far. So it's one of the things we might even be able to make, especially next weekend, going out with Professor Stark. We might be able to, or Dr. Stark might be able to get her to come along.
Now, you're going to do an episode with Dr. Stark?
Probably not, because she's doing a straight investigation. I don't want to mix the two.
Okay.
Folklore is folklore. Investigation are investigations.
So I understand,
neither two shall meet.
Okay.
Although I will bring my folklore expertise into it. But I don't think that... I might use it as an opportunity to recruit her for a show, but not necessarily...
Not necessarily this instance. Okay.
So, I think that puts a...
That's a wrap on the witches.
I think that puts a... I was trying to think of a witch-oriented thing to put on it. That puts a...
Hex on the...
Okay.
I don't know, what?
Especially this month, this beautiful month of October. The most holiest of holy, unless you're...
And by the way,
unless you're in Tallahassee.
Wait, time out. I did find the answer earlier.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So, Christianity has actually associated All Saints' Day with November 1st.
Right.
And it got kind of transformed into October 31st. But ever since the
because
beginning
of that word
the
with
7th...
the S that I can't pronounce.
Huh?
It's like
Samhain.
Samhain.
And that's a Celtic.
Yeah.
So all of that is all wrapped together, but that's been like since the early 7th century.
Okay, so even
very
much
long
longer
time.
than that.
Yeah.
So October would, but the question is, would someone who was born in October, would they have been like?
I didn't see anything about that.
I didn't see anything either.
And I've never really come across that before.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. There you go.
Okay. So we're putting a hold on the hexes for right now.
During this month, make sure to follow us, especially on Facebook, to see kind of what's going on.
Yep.
Like I said, we've got events every weekend.
Coming up.
We've got some live shows we're doing that we're going to make up for lost time for the last week. Like an event I had to cancel. So follow us on facebook.com/trippingonlegends.
You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Nene, my friend.
And I am at Spooky Balzano.
You can email us at spookytripping@gmail.com.
And Spooky Tripping is also our Instagram.
He's got some good pictures on there.
And you can follow what we're doing, both our travelogues and our thoughts on things, at www.trippingonlegends.wordpress.com.
And with that said, here's...
What? No, you have to say your name first.
Oh, God, I always forget that part.
She always forgets that part.
Always.
Always forgets
Okay, I am Natalie Crist.
And I am Christopher Balzano. And here's hoping all your trips
are legendary.
Wait, we gotta go back to the beginning now. Oh no! Too much going on! Too much going on! Do 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 do.
I would say it's moderately successful for being our first time shooting video at the same time. No, that means that if it didn't do it the whole time.
What?
That means that it didn't even do that.
But it did it at the beginning of it, so there's just something wrong with it.
Wait, stop. I can help you. Yeah.
What?
That, right there.
That?
Uh-huh.
There we go.
You're welcome.
And here's hoping all your trips
are not as technically difficult as this was.
Or witchy.
Oh.
We should have gone for like witchy woman. Like witchy woman.
Yeah, I know that song. You played that for me before. Yeah.
I've had a lot of witch friends.
You have had a lot of witch friends.
I have had a lot of witch friends.
I only had one friend who practiced Wicca, and I was very young.
Yeah?
Yeah, 7th grade.
Did she try to like recruit you?
She did.
And you weren't going for it?
No, I did for a little while until like my parents shut that shit down.
You're not supposed to swear.
They fucking shut that shit down.
Wait, how'd they find out about it?
I don't remember. I think I was probably talking to them about it. I'm a very open person.
You're just in like emo and stuff?
Totally, but that's totally a stereotype. That's horrible.
I'm just asking.
Well, no. I think they found out about it.
Okay.
Like, what are you doing with those herbs? Why are you making sacrifices?